Good afternoon to you. I am Caitlin Pratt. Welcome this Wednesday to Fox Local, where we're taking you live to the metro area and beyond. Let's get you started with a story we've been tracking this morning. Some alarming news coming out of Atlanta's airport. A loaded gun clip discovered in an airplane there. And for these developing details, we go to our reporter Tyler Fingert live there at Hartsfield-Jackson, breaking down what we know right now, some limited details.
Yeah, so a Sunday afternoon flight, apparently, according to Atlanta police, a passenger on board that flight found a loaded magazine that did not have a gun with it, just a loaded magazine. It was found at seat 7A, according to Atlanta police. They say in that magazine there was 10 hollow point ammunition, and again, no firearm was found. This happened at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday here at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. It happened on a Frontier Airlines flight that was making a turn from Cincinnati to Atlanta and then returning back to Cincinnati, and it was found here in Atlanta as they were reboarding the aircraft to bring those passengers or new passengers back up to Ohio. And so obviously this was a situation that is a security concern. So once that firearm magazine was found, the Atlanta Police Department, the Department of Aviation, and Homeland Security, along with the TSA, made the decision to deplane the aircraft and then do a thorough sweep of the plane and then sweep everyone on board. They had to go through security once again here at the airport before they could end up getting back on board that plane. That flight ended up leaving somewhere around 8 o'clock, so you're looking at about a 3.5-hour delay because of this firearm magazine that was found on board the aircraft. We did get viewer video from someone who was on board the aircraft showing all of the different situations. I'm told that we weren't able to get that video turned in time for this newscast, but we'll hopefully have that for you on Fox 5 News at noon. I did reach out to Frontier Airlines. They sent me a statement a short time ago. They confirmed this incident and did say that the security concern prompted the plane to be removed from service for a little bit so they could then re-screen the aircraft and also re-screen all the passengers to make sure that it is obviously safe for people to be on board. They didn't find anything. They did say that a subsequent investigation found out that the person who apparently brought that firearm magazine on board the aircraft was a law enforcement officer. They didn't specify what type of law enforcement officer that was, but we do know that there are special requirements that a police officer or a federal agent has to do to be able to bring a firearm on board an aircraft. They have to pass certain checks. So it's not just any law enforcement officer can bring one on board, but obviously very concerning that that firearm was found on board. The firearm magazine was found on board the aircraft. I did speak to the woman who took the video for us, the Fox 5 viewer. She told me that she doesn't want to be identified, but she said she was very concerned hearing about that, and I was able to fill her in on what police said happened. And she said that she's glad it was that, but she said it's still very concerning that a law enforcement officer would just leave something like that on board an aircraft, especially in a time we are in. So obviously this is something we are continuing to learn more details about, and we'll have much more coming up on Fox 5 News at noon. We are live at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Tyler Fingert, Fox 5 News.
Tyler, providing some perspective for us, and we look forward to that video on Fox 5 News at noon. Thanks so much. And we turn now to some other developing stories this Wednesday afternoon. Let's start with the SNAP benefits. Developing today, the Supreme Court extending its stay of a lower court ruling requiring the Trump administration fully fund the SNAP program. So what does this mean? The move buys Congress some time to bring the government shutdown to an end. It also means the 1.4 Georgians here in our state who rely on these benefits will not get their full amount. That's just for now. After being sued by several groups and cities, the administration said it would only pay out 65% of what people would usually receive, leaving 42 million SNAP recipients, this is nationwide, wondering how they're going to be making up the difference. So here's what we can expect as far as the rest of today, a key day in this ongoing situation for sure. Key vote to bring an end to this record-setting shutdown of the government. Another step today. All eyes there on the House. Lawmakers are expected to vote on the Senate-approved bill. That's what's next, to get the government running again through January. So this is just a short-term situation. It will extend funding for most agencies, including 3 full-year funding bills for some parts of the government. Now, Republicans, they say they're confident this package will clear, even though most House Democrats say, no, we're going to vote against this. But if it does pass, it will go to President Donald Trump's desk. He is expected to sign it. Again, day 43, record-breaking here. Let's take you live now once again to Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. You're looking there at the runways, cancellations, delays. My goodness, they've been the themes for days now, right? So even with the government expected to reopen, there's still a situation, of course, where people are worried about flights, not just for today, not just for tomorrow, but in the weeks to come, even Thanksgiving, right? We could still see delays and disruptions as far as what we can expect here in Atlanta, the busiest airport. They could spill over into the weekend, and here's why. Airport workers, they're trying to untangle the mess of missed flights from the past week plus or so. On the bright side, though, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says more air traffic controllers have reported for work after news of a shutdown agreement. Unclear if that promise that President Donald Trump made earlier in the week, that those reporting to work would be offered a $10,000 bonus. No word if that was maybe an incentive as far as that is concerned. We do have some other headlines we are working for you this Wednesday. A busy morning that we've been following here in the metro area. 2 people were injured in a crash, and this is something that really you don't see every day here in the metro area. A car crashing right through a DeKalb County home last night. This all happened before 11 o'clock. You're looking at Shira Drive off of Panola Road, where DeKalb police say 2 people suffered some moderate injuries there. A witness telling Fox 5 that speeding car was going right before leaving the road, hitting the house. We're working to learn more information about this one. We'll pass it on for you. And we're also working a story that just entered our Fox 5 newsroom. This is breaking right now. Want to get you up to date with what exactly we know, which details are limited. The Atlanta Fed, the Reserve President, Raphael Bostic, saying he's going to be leaving his position when his term expires. This is happening in February of 2026, that expiration of his term. The announcement comes ahead of a pivotal year for the Fed, and it's a rate-setting body. That body is called the Federal Open Market Committee. Now, a little history on President Bostic. He served since 2017. He was the 15th president, the CEO, and he's the first African American to be president of a regional Federal Reserve Bank in its 111-year history. Bostic's term has not been without controversy. Back in October of 2022, we reported this, the Fed announcing it was looking into trades he made during the blackout periods near policy meetings, and he ultimately ended up apologizing for discrepancies. Again, this is a breaking situation. He did release a statement, and you can read it in its entirety in an article on our website. You can find that information on fox5atlanta.com. And we still have a lot ahead on the stream this morning, including efforts to keep those fed as the Thanksgiving holiday approaches. Stay close, everybody. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to Fox 5 News Live this Wednesday. So glad you're streaming with us. So it turns out Atlanta's becoming a soccer town, football town. Have you heard the latest news? Well, I'm here to share it with you. Just yesterday, Arthur Blank announcing the 17th National Women's Soccer League franchise is going to start playing here in 2028. The new club will be owned by Blank's A&B Sports and Entertainment. Home games are going to be played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We caught up with Arthur Blank right after the big announcement. He says they're now in the beginning stages of picking a club name, an identity, and will be asking fans soon for their input.
Fans would be heavily involved. So with Atlanta United, we took about 9 months to research the fans, spend time with them, understand what they like, what they didn't like, and that's how I've built all of our businesses actually in that way. And we'll do the same thing with this, come up with a name that they love, that we love, and our fans will love, and the league will love. And that'll take a little bit of time because you really have to do it from the ground floor up. You've got to be a good listener and pay attention. So.
There you go. Got to be a good listener and paying attention. So we will keep you updated as we progress with that big announcement here in Atlanta. So I know you haven't been living under a rock as far as the weather is concerned. Look at this. This is so fun. For sure. I love this. Each and every year we have these visuals, right? These frozen iguanas. It's been so cold here, not just in Georgia, but in the South the last few days. It paralyzed iguanas across Florida. So I didn't know what this was called. It's called cold stunning. You learn something new every day, right? It happens when temperatures drop into the 40s or lower. Cold-blooded animals like these little guys lose the ability to move their muscles. Don't worry. As long as they're not touched, they'll be fine. As soon as the temperatures warm up once again, they'll be active. Just like me. Whenever it gets below a certain temperature, Jonathan Stacy, you can catch me in the bed, not moving.
You just fall down.
Fall down.
Fall out.
No movement. That's a wrap.
Interestingly enough, the National Weather Service offices in Florida, they actually have a specific alert for the falling iguana watch.
No, that's funny.
Yeah, so it comes out like you get an alert on your phone of a severe thunderstorm warning, you get an iguana falling alert.
That's really fun.
Iguana alert.
That's really fun.
Okay. No falling iguanas today. We're warming up quite nice.
We like the warm up too.
Yeah, we deserve it after a bone chilling past couple of days. We're already at 56 degrees or 57 here in the city. Something we did not do yesterday.
What's that?
We did not see the 50s or feel the warmth of the 50s. And it's something we're calling 57 degrees warm. Almost to 60 down there in Inkton. Good afternoon or good late morning to you, Athens, 55 degrees. So here's how the day's going to shake out. We're going to keep on climbing. Going to press the gas and push us into the 60s before the day's all done. I think some communities will likely top out maybe around 66 degrees. Okay, and then we're going to drop the number back down. Okay, well, not as deep as we went last night or this morning, but still pretty cool, especially up there in the mountains. There could be a couple communities that meet the freezing mark, but we bounce back fairly quickly. In fact, we will be in the low 50s, high 40s when it is time to go check out the northern lights. Just look to the north, and that's the first thing you got to do. There's a geomagnetic storm, a G4 storm out there. It sounds really cool. It sounds like it's like the net sci-fi movie.
Love that.
A G4 storm, the best viewing is between the hours of 8 and 11 p.m. I game for 10 o'clock if I were you. I think this will be a weaker showing, less vibrant than last night. So you've been seeing the pictures on your feed, and those who caught a glimpse got to see some celestial wonder and the aurora borealis. Basically what the sun is doing is spewing out ejections, and those particles, they reach Earth's surface, specifically the poles, and because those particles are charged, they're electrons, here's what happens. They start to glow, and that glow can be so vibrant and so magnificent, you can see them further to the south as you get into the lower latitudes. And so that's why we are able to get this kind of rare celestial sighting here, even as far south as North Georgia. Sometimes the sun just has to really, once again, it has to do its thing in spewing injections. So in terms of the best scenarios, seeing it with the naked eye, just not possible. You got to go to the Scandinavian countries, to Iceland, Denmark to see all that. That's not going to happen here. But you have to turn your phone into night mode. And with that being said, I think you'll have a solid chance, but it's really for our mountain communities. You have the wonder of snow, or the annoyance of snow to begin the week, and now you have a G4 storm in the skies to end the week. If you're here in the metro area, you're going to have to fend off all of the other artificial light that comes by night. The city lights out there making it a bit more difficult, and just the further south you get, obviously geography is against you in terms of being able to see something that is near the North Pole. After all, Thursday will shake out to be a fairly nice day as well. Temperatures climbing into the 60s. Some forecasters are saying we get to 70s. Some are saying we're going to hold it in the high 60s. I say whatever is not 40 or 50, I'm game for it. High pressure's in control. It's going to hang on for us for the weekend. A few little things are going to slide by in the way of some waves, but we're problem free really until we get to Tuesday of next week, and that's when I'm going to bring in a chance for a little bit of rain. I don't see anything that big coming our way. Hey, Caitlin, I'm in love with this forecast.
I feel like we went through something earlier this week. We passed a test, right? And now we're being rewarded, right?
Yes.
Here's your.
Is this the final exam? Because I don't want to do this again.
Unfortunately, winter's still coming, as they say.
This is like a pretest.
A pretest.
You know how the teachers used to do? They would give you that test at the beginning of the year. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And to see where you're at. Just know I failed. Winter, I failed. Start me out real low. We got to titrate me up.
Ooh, what's the extra credit available, Miss Teacher? Yes. Yes. Well, thank you for managing our expectations. We'll enjoy the rest of the week. That's for sure.
Enjoy.
That's for sure. Good to see you, Jonathan.
Indeed.
And we still have a lot more here on the stream, including you sports fans. We are talking all things college football playoffs. Stay close, everybody. So Halloween is behind us, and we have a lot of holidays before us. Traditionally, a time of year when a lot of people start to struggle because you have special meals you have to pay for, gift lists you have to check off. So here, stepping in today, a really interesting, supportive effort specifically for those who in our community depend on supportive services. Photojournalist Eli Jordan is live for us this morning, telling us all about it. Volunteers hard at work, Eli, putting together dozens and dozens of meal kits. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Caitlin. Yes, I am at Hope Atlanta here in Old Fourth Ward, where they are putting together 60 meal kits for people in the PSH program. That's a permanent supportive housing program, and it's for people that are facing homelessness or are currently homeless and don't have a place of their own, and so they're fixing this up. But you got to understand, though, that this is something that goes on every day. This just doesn't happen around the holidays. This is an everyday struggle for people who are have a job, going out working, paying their taxes, but they just don't make enough to make ends meet. And with me to talk about this issue is Kelly Glenn. She is the Chief Development Officer here at Hope. And Kelly, just tell me, first of all, what's going on here today? What do you guys going on?
Yeah, so today we have Georgia's Own with us, who they're making Thanksgiving meals for some of our clients who are in our permanent supportive housing program.
And tell me, how many people do you guys help a year, would you say?
Hope Atlanta serves 6,500 folks a year.
And to tell me, how different is this year, considering with the SNAP benefits going in lapse, and we don't know when those are going to return, how is this year's holiday different than years before, I would say?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been stressful. I mean, we typically receive anywhere between 3,000 calls a month, and we took an assessment recently, and we saw that an increase has happened since last year, when we receive over 15,000 calls a month from folks who are facing evictions, they're hungry, they need support. And with everything that has happened over the past month, with SNAP benefits being impacted by the government shutdown, we've had to really kick into action. And our corporate community has been incredible. As folks who are going without food and facing food insecurity, our corporate community, like Georgia's Own Credit Union, has stepped up to the plate to ensure our neighbors in Atlanta who are facing food insecurity and experiencing homelessness have food that they can eat.
And just tell me about those important donations. I mean, this is a year-long thing. This isn't just around the holidays. I mean, it's important to keep people fed throughout the whole year, correct? And you guys need the funding to do this, correct?
Right. I mean, definitely this month, folks have really seen and they can understand hunger. Why are people going without food? Why are they going out without benefits that give them access to food? So people really understand food and folks not being able to eat. But yes, this is an everyday thing. I mean, we have folks in Atlanta, around 800,000 people face food insecurity every single day.
And about 10,000 people that we know of are facing home, insecurity. But there's more that we don't know about that are couch surfing in extended stay motels and whatnot. So, I mean, it's definitely a crisis here in the state where we have homelessness, correct?
Correct. I mean, we do something called the PIT count, which is a point-in-time count every single January, where we go and we surface the streets and we count folks who are experiencing homelessness on the streets. But that doesn't include folks who are sleeping in their cars or they're bouncing from couch to couch from their friends and their family members' homes. It doesn't include folks who are in extended hotel stays, folks who are working, folks who are trying to do everything that they can to make ends meet. But right now, with the lack of affordable housing available, the increase in food that we all see every single day when we go to the grocery store, how much our food bills are going, folks are having a really difficult time, and they're having to choose between, am I going to pay for food for my family today, or am I going to pay for my medicine that I need for diabetes, for example, or can I skip 1 month's rent so that way I can have a nice Thanksgiving or a nice Christmas for my my children. I mean, these are really difficult times and really difficult choices that folks are having to make. I mean, they're choiceless choices, right? We all need food. We all need shelter. We all want to do the best for our children and our families. And so it has been extremely stressful, especially right now for families who have been impacted by the government shutdown and who have been impacted through having to make those tough choices.
Well, Georgia Zone's got a nice little conveyor belt type system going on here with getting loaded up. But if an individual or another company wanted to call up and donate to Hope Atlanta to help you guys continue to feed families, especially, what should they do? What's your website and how do they donate there?
Yeah, I mean, anybody can go to hopeatlanta.org at any moment. I mean, we're coming across the end of the year, and a lot of people are deciding where they're going to give gifts to. And all funds that we receive, they're unrestricted funds, which means we can sit down with individuals who are going through homelessness or going through tough times, and we can help them fund things that they need, whether it be eviction or food or medical costs. And of course, we are always in need of food so that we can supply our clients and our neighbors around us.
HopeAtlanta.org?
HopeAtlanta.org.
Awesome. Kelly Glenn with Hope Atlanta. Thank you very much. Well, Caitlin, this is what they're doing here in Old Fourth Ward at Hope Atlanta. They're preparing for the holidays with people. They're facing a homeless insecurities and homeless situation. Back to you.
Hope Atlanta, the name says it all. Thanks, Eli, so much for shining a spotlight on their efforts, their ongoing efforts here in the metro area. All right, we have a lot more ahead, including, I know you sports fans are excited, the college football playoff rankings, and we want to get you the numbers, we want to get you some perspective, and doing all of that, Peach Bowl Inc. President and CEO Gary Stokan joining us now this morning. So great to see you, that is for sure. The regular college football season winding down, and lots of people, Gary's so excited, in particular about a 12-team playoff. First things first, how did the committee do? Did they get it right?
Well, I think they did, and it's great to be with you. Thanks for having us. We appreciate our partnership with Fox 5, and great time of the year in college football. Obviously, every Tuesday night when the rankings come out, there's a lot of talk about who's going to be in, who's going to be out. But, there's so many games still left to play. So we have to wait and see until December 6th, and then they'll announce the 12 teams, and then we'll be off and running for see who plays in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in the semifinal on January 9th.
And okay, so let's start with Georgia. Stayed at number 5 this week, right? What would a win over Texas do for their ranking?
Well, a couple of things that people need to remember. Number one is you want to win, and who you beat, you want them to win out. So there are such things as good losses. So you control what you can control, and that's to win every game left. In Georgia's case, they've got a tough game this weekend at home with Texas, who is ranked in the top 10 right now, according to the CFP rankings last night. And if they can beat Texas, and then they turn around and they have Georgia Tech in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which Georgia Tech is ranked right now 16th. So those two wins would really propel Georgia into at least the top 5. And with the top 5, you get a home game in the first round. They could possibly see themselves getting into the SEC championship or a first round bye if they're ranked number 1 through number 4. So Georgia still has a chance there. In the case of Georgia Tech, they've got a tough schedule with Pitt coming to Atlanta, and they still have to play Georgia, obviously. But the Pitt game's very important, and the game this weekend at Boston College, because Georgia Tech can still play in Charlotte in the ACC championship game, and if they win the ACC championship, they get an automatic bid into the 12-team playoff. So both Georgia and Georgia Tech have a lot of games coming up here in the next few weeks that are going to be very important as to whether they can get in the playoff or not.
Now, Gary, I was talking with Buck Lanford on the set this morning for Good Day Atlanta, and he was saying, I mean, Georgia Tech is outside the top 12, like looking in the window, their nose pressed up to the glass. What does that tell you about their playoff chances? Why are they the lowest ranked one-loss team? He asked me that question, told me to ask it to you. He wants to know.
Well, two things there. Number one is Georgia Tech can still get in because the Power Four, top four conferences, the ACC, which Georgia Tech is in, the SEC, which Georgia is in, the Big 12 and the Big 10, all their champions get an automatic bid into the 12-team playoff, no matter where they're ranked. So if Georgia Tech, wins out and wins in Charlotte in the ACC championship, they would automatically get in. So that's important to know. If Georgia Tech were to lose to Pitt and not get in the ACC championship, they're going to have a difficult time ranked outside the top 12, getting into the 12-team playoff.
Now, what about Vanderbilt? Let's talk about that. A lot of people are, and one of their players, Diego, is he a legitimate Heisman contender? The people want to know.
Well, Vanderbilt's been the surprise as well as Indiana this year because they're typically not ranked in the top 25 in college football. And Clark Lee's done a heck of a job there. He's an alumnus, played there at Vanderbilt. And Diego Pavia is a Heisman Trophy candidate for sure. He has led Vanderbilt at quarterback. And Vanderbilt's ranked right now 14th at 8-2. It's going to be tough for them to get into the playoff. They need some things to happen above them. But, remember, 4 teams, the top 4 teams get the byes. The 4 teams that win the Power 4 conference championships get in. And then one of the group of 6, which is the outside the Power 4 conferences of the ACC, SEC, Big 10, and Big 12, they get an automatic selection as well. And right now that's somewhere between James Madison, South Florida, one of those 2 teams, North Texas. They will also get, whoever's the highest ranked champion of those teams, get an automatic slot as well.
Nice. Setting the stage for us. Finally, Gary, what games, what teams are you going to be watching for this upcoming weekend?
Well, I watch the teams now that are playing ranked opponents because they have the most to gain and the most to lose. And so Georgia and Georgia Tech are 2 teams that, I'll be watching closely. I'll be at the Georgia-Texas game this weekend. Watching that game will be very influential as to whether Texas gets in if they were to beat Georgia, because they still have Texas A&M to play, who's ranked number 3. And then Georgia, as we've talked about earlier, still has Georgia Tech and Texas to play this weekend. So the teams that have ranked opponents like Georgia and Georgia Tech with playing Pitt and Notre Dame this weekend, Georgia Tech can really, Pitt playing Notre Dame this weekend, and Pitt playing Georgia Tech, and then Pitt playing Miami. That's a team that you have to watch. And Georgia Tech has them at home in 2 weeks. So that's going to be a huge game at the Flats at Georgia Tech.
Setting the stage for us. Gary, thanks so much for joining us here on Fox 5 News Live. Great to see you on the stream, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a great day. We'll see you next week. And turning now to a really interesting story out of Cobb County, a really special one. Our Chris Rosenthal is at a senior facility that is singing all the right notes. We want to catch up with him as he tells us how they're helping residents with their memory care. Hey, Chris. Okay, we're going to try to get Chris there on the stream. In the meantime, we're going to go to break, and we'll see you just after this. Welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. We want to circle back to Cobb County and our photojournalist Chris Rosenthal at a really special program highlighting a new effort, a new music program for our oldest residents. Good morning to you, Chris. Let's dig in. What's this all about?
Yeah, good morning, Caitlin. So I am at the Solana East Cobb. And this is a assisted living community, and as you can see behind me, these are residents here, and they are part of a program, a Sing Fit Studio program, where they basically get to experience music. It's a music therapy program. So I think we all sort of, when we hear maybe an old song, a familiar song, it helps bring back memories. And for some of these patients who may be having, memory care issues, this program really helps them get some help and get some therapy with that. And let me flip the camera around here and just kind of show you. So they are actually about to listen to Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, and I watched them practice this a little bit earlier, and they really remember the words. Some of them tapping their feet.
Watching the ships roll in. Watching the ships roll in.
And
away again.
I'm here with Siobhan Phillips, and Siobhan, just tell me a little bit about this program.
So at the Arbor Company, we know that music is very important in memory, jogging our memory and our tools. So the music that we use is memory music that they know, and the music here, it sparks back memories, it sparks back engagement, and look at them. I mean, they're having an amazing time, smiling and just reminiscing on the times of, sitting at the dock of the bay.
And I mean, some of these residents, they are, talk to me about them, where they are with their memory, and how this might help them.
So, like I said, with memory, memory is jogged by different things that we have, and so when you have music that sparks back that time of back when they were, in high school or in college, it's scientifically proven that memory helps, and music helps memory. It jogs back those times to where, and reminiscing basically. So yeah, it's a good, it makes them feel good. You see the smiling on their faces, and it's great.
And tell me, I mean, what's the process here? It's kind of like a karaoke, huh?
Absolutely. So it's like basically our staff is trained on, and we have this real neat app that's easy to use. They're trained basically almost to be like music therapists. So it's a sing and response, call and response, and you put movement with it, so they have a little exercise as well. Like I said, a great program. This was introduced to us a year ago, and it has really taken a hit off in all of our communities at the Arbor Company.
Wonderful. And you guys do this daily, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. A few times a day. A lot of times it's great to start it in the morning, and definitely after a meal to keep them going. But look at them. Look how great they're participating and moving around and smiling.
And yeah, definitely a lot of fun for them, and it's fun, but also, I don't think any of them are missing any of the words. So I think they got the song down, even got their shakers. So.
Good job. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Appreciate it. Oh, it was so much fun. Thank you. Thank you.
Chris Rosenthal, we've been friends for years and years and years. I feel like when we're old enough someday to be in those chairs, Let's do some U2, right? Let's do some Coldplay. Those are the songs that we'll be able to sing word for word. What a special program. I love that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that with us, and I'm glad we got to see it firsthand as these seniors were taken back in time. Wonderful story. Thanks so much, Chris. Have a good rest of your day. And we still have a lot more on the stream this morning, including recognition, putting one of our communities, Forsyth County to be specific, at the forefront of some conservation efforts being recognized. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna let you know what it means for residents and for Georgia. Stay close, everyone. Welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. Thrilled to have this morning in with us one of the officials from Forsyth County, one of the people responsible, and it's a lot of people responsible for this great designation. Scott Adams with the Forsyth County Department of Water and Sewer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
So let's dig right in. A great distinction. What does this mean? What is this distinction, and why should your team be extra proud?
Well, it's a Water First designation. It's from the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority. This designation really illustrates our commitment to environmental excellence when it comes to water resources. It's a great asset for the community as we do some of our financing through the Georgia Environmental Facilities Authority. We get a discount on our interest rate. We get grants and loans through them as well. So it's really great for our ratepayers to have this designation. But I think it really recognizes all the hard work that goes into producing clean water. When you turn on your tap, you take that water for granted. We're just excited to be here and take the opportunity to talk about water, and excited for the recognition.
And this isn't the first year that Forsyth County has really been leading the charge, right? 15 years now that you've received this distinction?
Yes, that's correct. We were first designated in 2010 and have kept our designation through the last 15 years.
That's wonderful. And you guys are just one of, I think, 55 communities, is that what we were talking about, to be recognized for this. Clearly a big deal. The governor commending you for this. As you mentioned, we take it for granted, right? We turn on the tap, we run the dishwasher, we take showers, we water our gardens. clearly it takes a team to make this all work, to be environmentally friendly, to be fiscally friendly. Do you guys meet at the table and just spit, ideas? I mean, do you have benchmarks you try to meet?
Sure. Well, of course, all the regulations that we have to meet, but we have about 200 people that work behind the scenes to make sure that water is available and to make sure it's clean and make sure it's treated properly and to make sure when you're done using it, it goes and it's treated properly before it's released back in the environment. And it spans all areas of the watershed. We get involved with this Water First designation, community outreach, public outreach. We deal with septic tanks. We deal with stormwater runoff. Soil and erosion control from construction sites is a big one. So it's a large collaborative effort to keep that designation and to treat the water properly and be good environmental stewards.
I didn't think about the runoff. I mean, booming. I mean, so many
everywhere.
Businesses, homes,
roads.
All the things, for sure. And you mentioned all the people working behind the scenes. It's got to make you really proud to be part of that team and to be officially recognized by the state of Georgia.
Well, it's very exciting, and it's great to be here and to be able to talk about it and get the information out there. So I appreciate you having me. It's been quite an honor.
Where would other communities start to do what you're doing? You're an example. Where would other city, county leaders begin to try and emulate what you guys have done?
Sure. Well, again, it's across the board. So you look at the different areas where you serve your water, different areas in the community. Is your engineering department, are they protecting the water? Are you working with the health department? Are you working with the Georgia EPD? They're a big an asset. They regulate us, and so all those entities are involved. The Georgia Metropolitan North Georgia Metropolitan Planning District, we collaborate with them as well through a regional effort. So there's plenty of organizations and ways to get involved and start to ramp up your programs.
Now, Scott, I mean, motivation moving forward, especially with just the changing climate of all the construction, everything just developing so fast. You got to stay ahead of this.
We got to. We have to, and we have done that for years. Forsyth County has been one of the fastest growing communities in the state. We've kept ahead of it for years and years. We plan 20 and 30 years out. We don't plan for next year or 5 years out. So we're always looking at a long-term horizon, and we've got to, because it takes so much time to build our facilities. It takes so much money to build our facilities that we're always looking very far out in the future to make sure we're staying ahead of the curve.
For sure. Closing thoughts for us just on this designation and also what's ahead for Forsyth County.
Well, we're going to keep doing what we do well, and we're going to look for areas we can improve. And again, we're still growing, and so we're still out there to meet the demand. And we're going to keep doing what we do.
Doing a good job, obviously.
Well, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
So great to have you here on the stream in studio. Scott Adams with Forsyth County Department of Water and Sewer. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Good to chat with you. And we still have a lot more to bring you here this morning on the stream, so I hope you'll stay close. New and next, we have Fox 5 News at noon, and we hope you'll stay close, stay informed, stay up to date on the news and the weather this Wednesday morning / about to be afternoon. Thanks again for taking time for us. Yeah.
Great.